It's 7 p.m. on Monday, April 21st, 2025, and I will call this regular City Council meeting to order. I do want to thank those who are joining us this evening, and if Councilmember Hall would lead us in the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Whalen is asked to be excused this evening.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Whalen.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Strader and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem to excuse Councilmember Whalen this evening. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried 6-0. So to note for the record, all other council members are here this evening. We have Planning Manager Stallnecker, Director Madden, Interim Director Robeck, Chief Hernandez, and City Clerk Tricia Summers. Moving on to citizen participation. I have no one signed up this evening. Moving on to additions and deletions. Are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda, if I can get a motion to pass.
Make a motion to pass the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Strader and seconded by Councilmember Hall to pass the consent agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried 6-0. Council, we're going to start the evening with two public hearings. The first one's on page 25 of your packet. It is a public hearing for the amendment of the use table allowing co-living dwellings as multiple family uses. I'm going to turn the floor over to our planning manager for a brief presentation, and then following the presentation, we will hold the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Yes, this is the public hearing for amendments to get the specific code citing to section 1708257, and which is adding a definition for dwelling co-living and adding the use to the use table 1714010. This was mentioned, this was discussed at the study session, and as summarized before, it's simply adding an additional use that is considered multifamily, and it would only be allowed in the multi-use, mixed-use family zones, which is identified on the map.
Okay. So I will now open up the public hearing at 7:03 to take public comment on the amendment to the use table allowing co-living dwellings as multiple families. I do not have anyone signed up this evening, so I will close the public hearing at 7:03 p.m. Moving on to our second public hearing, it is on page 31 of your packet. Is a public hearing for the amendment of the use table allowing drive-throughs in the Uptown Mixed Use District. So once again, I'll turn the floor over to our planning manager, and then we'll open up the floor after her presentation.
Thank you again. This is just to amend the use table to allow drive-throughs in the Uptown Mixed Use District. This is to correct an inadvertent error at the last update that changed it from being allowed to not being allowed. So this is simply a minor correction of that one area.
So I now open this public hearing at 7:04 p.m. to take comment on the amendment of the use table allowing drive-throughs in the Uptown Mixed Use District. We have no one signed up for comments this evening, so I will close the public hearing at 7:04 p.m. And then, Council, last week I misspoke. I said that both these items would come back for your approval this week, but they actually, due to timing, will come back the first week in May.
The drive-through one will come back the first week in May. They do have to go through state review And I had asked for an expedited review on both of them, thinking that they were, we can do that if for stuff that's not major. But because the co-living one is tied to the state mandate, they have requested the full review time just so that the agencies can double check. So it probably will be the first meeting in June because I have to give them 60 days instead of 14.
Okay. So we will bring those back at the appropriate time for approval. So we have 3 items on the agenda this additional items, and the first one is on page 39 of your packet. It is Resolution 25-1987 for a fee schedule update. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Interim Director Robeck, and then following her review, I will need a motion to open up the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item was presented at the last study session and is an amendment to the fee schedule that reflects various changes, including removing the community building rental fees, updating various land use, subdivision, and environment fees, increasing some various permit fees, and also including some language to adjust these fees annually, and lastly, to modify the electric reconnection fees for consistency with water reconnection fees.
Councilmember Cedar?
I move to adopt Resolution 25-1987, the updated fee schedule as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Cedar and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem to adopt Resolution 25-1987, the updated fee schedule as presented. Councilmember Cedar, did you want to speak to your motion?
Appreciate you keeping up with this. I'm a big proponent of tying increases to the CPI, so it's always nice to see. So thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. I like that we do these little housekeeping things, so then, such as putting the fees in the fee schedule so they're not having to be in the codes, then we don't have to go back and vote on the code again with a change. As we discussed this in the planning or in the study session, then I'm for this, and thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns from council? Councilmember White?
Yeah, I've voiced this objection before. I don't really mind tying increases to the CPI, but I do think it's important to maintain oversight. And I don't think that fees should just automatically increase without council approval. And it's happened with several other things in the fee schedule and in the code. And I still object to it, and that's the only reason that I'll be voting against this.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay.
If I may, Mayor.
Oh, sorry, Councilmember Cedar?
Councilmember White, if I may, respect your opinion on that. I know we've talked about it before. I'd like to know what your specific objections are to this particular rate increase of 3.8% and why tying this to the CPI or why that rate increase would not be appropriate. Because I don't understand how else we could solve this issue.
And I'm not saying that it's not appropriate. I'm just saying that when we pass this, every subsequent increase will automatically be implemented without any review from the council. And that's what I object to.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? All right. It has been moved by Councilmember Cedar and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem to adopt Resolution 25-1987, the updated fee schedule as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Carried 5-1. Moving on to our next item this evening. It is on page 69 of your packet. It is ordinance 2111-25, an update to MMC 13.36.010. I'll turn the floor back over to Interim Director Robeck, and then we'll take a motion to open up the floor for discussion.
Thank you again. This item was originally presented at the last study session as well and does tie to some of the fee schedule, or relates to some of the fee schedule changes, or a fee schedule change that you just saw previously. As stated in the agenda bill, Milton Municipal Code 13.36.010 relating to utility billing policies and procedures includes fee amounts for utility bill copies and utility reconnections. This ordinance removes these fee amounts from MMC. This is part of the city's ongoing effort to combine all fees into a comprehensive fee schedule and eliminate the need to update code for rate changes.
Councilmember Cedar?
I move to adopt ordinance 2111-25, amending Milton Municipal Code 13.36.010.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Cedar and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem to adopt ordinance 2111-25, amending Milton Municipal Code 13.36.010. Councilmember Cedar, did you want to speak to your motion?
Nothing to add. Thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem, you want to speak to your second?
Other than to reiterate that I like that this, puts all the fees in one place as opposed to codifying it. And it makes it so much more efficient, easier for citizens to actually go onto the fee schedule and look and see how much is it going to cost me to do X. And I appreciate the work, and we can always go back and readjust these fees accordingly, yes? Relatively easy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other comments? No? Okay. It's been moved by Councilmember Cedar and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem to adopt ordinance 2111-25, amending Milton Municipal Code 13.36.010. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried 6-0. Moving on to our last agenda item this evening. It is on page 85 of your packet. It is for ordinance 2112-25 for a budget amendment number 2 regarding our wage scale. I will turn the floor over to Interim Director Robeck and Director Madden, and then following their review, I will need a motion to open up the floor.
Thank you. The proposed ordinance provides adjustments to the 2025 budget. This is the second ordinance amending the 2025 budget and reflects changes that have occurred since adoption. These adjustments are detailed in the accompanying exhibits, and I do want to note that they are changes to the wage scale only. The first proposed change is a change to the mechanic position title only. The new title of Fleet Manager Mechanic allows the position to more effectively and efficiently interact with external parties. The second change is a modification of both the position title and job description, and a job description is included in your packet. The GIS coordinator will become an asset management coordinator, reflecting additional emphasis on development of the city's asset management program. And in order to expedite advertising of this position, staff is requesting that a second reading of the ordinance be waived.
Councilmember Hall?
Move to waive the second reading and adopt ordinance 2112-25 according to the 2025 budget as detailed in Exhibit A.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Hall and seconded by Councilmember Cedar to waive the second reading and adopt ordinance 2112-25, amending the 2025 budget as detailed in Exhibit A. Councilmember Hall, do you have any comments on your motion?
Just I appreciate the work in really reviewing names and jobs, so that we can find the proper candidates.
Councilmember Cedar?
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of concerned with the waiving of the second reading. I don't quite understand. I know we always want to move fast, but the process is in place. What's the I mean, what kind of times are we dealing with if we do or do not waive the second reading?
Waiving of the second reading would allow us to go out to advertise now. This GIS position has been open for some time. We do have an internal candidate that is somewhat interested, but we need to advertise it and fill that position. We've also been achieving some synergy with Cartograph and its implementation, and so we wanted to capture that and move it forward.
If we didn't waive the second reading, I assume that this would then have its second reading at the next regular meeting, right? I see the mayor nodding. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't, it's a pretty minor thing, right? Unless I'm mistaken, what we're really doing is just retooling the job listing here to reflect what we actually need, but it's not a major change that's going to generate much input. Is that the idea?
It is the idea. This new job description for the GIS position is a combination of our previous position description, the asset manager, and our GIS coordinator. And so it's taking both of those position descriptions, combining them into one that really fits and fulfills what the city needs, which is more of a 70-80, like an 80-20 split, focused in asset management with some emphasis on GIS. And our current job description is very academic in nature. It's going to bring somebody who has a degree in GIS and expertise in mapping, which is fantastic, but it's not exactly what the city of Milton needs at this time.
Okay, great. So just to kind of summarize where I am, I'll vote to support this. I just want to note, I don't want us to make a habit of waiving a second reading, given the lack of public input on this and my expectation that the public's not going to give any more public input at the second reading. This doesn't concern me, but it does always bother me to waive it arbitrarily. Just noting that for everybody's awareness.
I appreciate your comments. I just to give a little, not defend, but speak on staff. We did go back and forth on whether we should waive it or not. We were kind of held up a little bit on the timing with the union because we had to get their approval for these changes. So that delayed us a little bit more. And we did have a lengthy discussion about waiving it, and we weren't going to, but we felt kind of to what you said, it's a very minor change. It doesn't affect the budget financially in any sort of way, positive or negative. So that's why we thought we would ask for the waiving. And we aren't in the habit, and we don't intend to be in the habit of doing that. So, Mayor Protem?
Thank you for answering that, because that was my same concern too, is that just the why. Because I agree with Councilmember Cedar that I don't want to make this a habit of, when it's convenient to, come to the council and say, we'd like to waive the second reading, because I kind of like the check and balance that second reading does throw in. I know sometimes, on the other hand, it also seems redundant, and why are we doing it? Because it seems, so unneeded. But because really all you're doing, you're just changing the titles, and that's it, correct?
Correct. They'll be filling the same role that the city has needed for some time.
Okay. And is it in this way so then they can take on more tasks, different tasks as well, yes?
Their job role, the emphasis of their job position will go back to what it was prior to the GIS coordinator, more asset management coordination and software updates. We'll continue to implement the onboarding and just our asset management program, Cartograph, captures all the city's assets, and we're fine-tuning that, and we're starting to go inside the buildings and identify pumps and maintenance schedules. And so some of these reoccurring items can be automated. And so we really need someone who has some field experience and a little bit more knowledge of how these things work in the field.
No, I definitely appreciate that aspect of it. Okay, thank you. You answered my question.
Councilmember Schrader?
You said that position was is not currently filled. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how long has it been empty?
Approximately a year and a half, sometime.
And so this doesn't change the qualifications or anything like that on the position, is that correct?
It reduced some of the I guess, education requirements for a bachelor's degree focused in GIS, and it emphasized equivalent work experience. So as far as were there changes, yes, there were some changes, and those changes were identified to broaden our pool of applicants.
I see. And so you said we had somebody in mind within the city staff?
We've had somebody who has expressed interest, but they'll need to apply just through our regular procedures.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? Okay. It has been moved by Councilmember Hall and seconded by Councilmember Cedar to waive the second reading and adopt ordinance 2112-25, amending the 2025 budget as detailed in Exhibit A. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried 6-0. Moving on to council reports, we'll start with Councilmember Hall this evening.
Hey, I think I read that this is Park Appreciation Week.
I don't know.
I saw that. And our parks are very important to our community and our families, and I appreciate all the work that's being done on all of our parks and continue work as well.
Thank you. Councilmember Strader?
Nothing tonight?
Councilmember Cedar?
I guess it's not really a report. I was just curious if there's been much community input for the fireworks committee.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Great.
I think we have one application.
Okay, great. Nothing to report.
Councilmember Reddy? Councilmember White?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I just have two things. Now I'm turning into a Councilmember Hall. My son and I are doing walks in the evening. It's pretty odd for him to come up, hey, Dad, you want to go for that walk? So I've been going out and walking at night. And yes, it would be nice to have, I'm all for having more sidewalks. So do not get me wrong on that. But even at this point, with the amount of, I'm surprised at really how lit. We go up Emerald and we go down, come back down Emerald, and then we go down 11th. And it is really well lit. It's probably better if one's not wearing black or dark color. But I would like, there are some places where we've walked that I would like to see more sidewalks. But of the ones that we have, I'm very appreciative of those. And then secondly was, there's going to be a, called Spring Local at the Karate Edge to help promote different local businesses. It'll be this Saturday from 11 to 3. So I just wanted to bring that up. That's all I have.
Okay. Planning Manager Stallnecker, do you have anything this evening?
Just that I will be at a conference Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but obviously available for emails and stuff, so.
You're not tooting your own horn enough. She is actually a speaker.
I am a speaker at the
conference.
Planning Association of Washington conference this weekend, and saved us $100.
This is Park Appreciation Week. Parks Board has decided to postpone our park cleanup until June when the weather is a little bit nicer. We thought we may have a better turnout, and so we'll be doing that in June.
Good evening, council. Just wanted to give you DUI of the week. That was this weekend, 72 grams of methamphetamine, and then a mixture of suspect psilocybin, and we think might be cut with spice. We're still investigating the brown substance. Lots of bags. And this was a traffic stop. But again, our guys seem to be doing about 3 or 4 DUIs at least a week. And half the time that's with narcotics. So shout out to the police department.
We good? Okay. I have nothing to add this evening. Councilmember Hall?
One more thing. Fife High School, or the district, is having their play this weekend, Wizard of Oz, starting this weekend and next weekend. So
And we'll recognize some of the props and costumes.
We'll recognize some of the props and costumes.
Anything else anyone has before we adjourn? Okay, so seeing that we've adjourned, or seeing that all agenda items have been concluded, I will adjourn our meeting at 7:25 p.m.